You know, they say the NRL never sleeps. And just when you thought the off-season was getting a little quiet, boom, the league drops an absolute bombshell. A proposal for some of the biggest, most radical rule changes we've seen in a generation.
So let's just get right into it, shall we? The NRL is talking about changing the very fabric of the game. So we really need to break down what these changes are, and more importantly, what they could mean for the sport that we all love.
Okay, so here are the big four. These are the key proposals that have been sent out to the clubs. And look, make no mistake, the league is dead serious about this. Yeah, they're asking for feedback, but the feeling is that most, if not all of these, are going to get locked in for 2026.
Let's start with the one that's causing the biggest stir, the kickoff. I mean, this is a part of the game that has been set in stone for over a century, and now it could be completely flipped on its head.
The idea, which they've kind of pinched from the NFL, is a total game changer. The team that just had points scored against them gets to choose whether to kick or receive the ball. The thinking is, it stops one team from getting on a roll and just steamrolling the other. But the cost? Well, it could totally kill the heart-stopping drama of a last-minute comeback, where a team is desperately fighting just to get the ball back.
And this quote right here, it just nails the opposition's argument. For the purists, rugby league is a test of your character. You cop a try, you're expected to grit your teeth, defend your line, and you have to earn the right to get back in the fight. This change, it feels like it just hands you the ball back. It takes away that fundamental test of a team's resilience.
So we actually asked Rooster star Connor Watson for his take, and he did not hold back. He hates it, and his reason is spot on. Picture this. Your team's down by 6 with only a minute to go. You score a try, you level it up. Under the current rules, you kick off, you go for a short one, you fight like hell to get that ball back for one last shot at glory. Under this new rule, the other team just gets the ball. Game over. The comeback is dead in the water.
All right, next up, the interchange bench. The NRL is proposing a 6-player system, and this one really sets up a classic conflict. Is it about player welfare, or is it about the tactical chess match that unfolds on game day?
So how would this even work? Well, a coach would have 6 players on the bench. They can use 4 of them just like they do now, for tactical reasons, giving a guy a rest, whatever. But those other 2, they're basically locked in a box, and you can only use them if a player is forced off the field for a head injury assessment or because of foul play.
The whole argument for this is about protecting the product, right? The NRL doesn't want a grand final totally ruined because a star halfback goes down in the first 10 minutes. But the trade-off here is huge. You lose those legendary backs-against-the-wall wins, where a team is battered and bruised, they've got a prop playing in the centres, but they somehow find a way to win. That drama could be gone.
And this is just a brilliant example of the unintended consequences. When Connor Watson first heard this rule, he was like, yeah, I can see the logic. But then it clicked. He realized what it meant for a player just like him, a utility, who's built his whole career on being able to cover multiple positions. With this rule, why would a coach need a versatile guy when they can just have a specialist backup for every key position sitting right there on the bench? For players like Connor, this could be a career changer, and not in a good way.
Now, the changes aren't just happening on the field, because off the field, a sleeping giant seems to have finally woken up. Just after Christmas, the St George Illawarra Dragons, a club that's been pretty quiet for years, made a move that sent absolute shockwaves through the player market.
And we're not just talking about any old signing here. When they landed South superstar Keon Koloamatangi, people were calling it the Dragons' biggest recruitment win since way back in 1999. That is a massive, massive statement about where this club is heading.
And yeah, it came with a pretty massive price tag. While the exact numbers are always kept under wraps, Koloamatangi's new deal is reportedly worth around $1 million a season. That puts him right up there in the top tier forwards in the entire league.
So why is this such a huge deal? Well, it's not just who they signed, it's how they did it. The Dragons went head-to-head with powerhouse rivals and won. It shows this incredible new ambition under new management. I mean, they even sent a helicopter for him, a chopper. This is what you call a circuit breaker signing. It's the kind of move that can totally reshape a club's identity.
So when you kind of step back and look at the whole big picture, these radical rule changes, the aggressive moves in the player market, it's clear the NRL is charging full steam ahead. But it really forces us to ask the question, what's the cost of all this progress?
You know, it's so easy to be skeptical of change. I mean, so many fans and experts were really critical of set restarts and the 2-point field goal when they first came in. They were seen as gimmicks. But now they're just part of the game. Most people would say they're positive innovations that have made the game faster and more exciting. It's just a powerful reminder that the changes we fight against today might be the very ones we can't imagine the game without tomorrow.
So, this is where we're left. Is the NRL just making necessary tweaks to keep the product fresh and competitive in a really crowded sports market? Or are they starting to chip away at the traditions in the very soul that makes rugby league the game we all fell in love with in the first place? That right there is the debate that's going to define the next era of the sport.